Welcome back to Between the Ashes, the Growing Silence for Freespace 2 here on Paladin Gaming. We're going into the 11th mission of the campaign, Zero Day. Wayfarer Internal. Source, Jurisk. Warning, confidential materials attached, eyes only. Commander, this came out faster than I expected, but I think the time is now. What we're learning from the Galatia data dump implicates Captain Varner more and more deeply. We need to get him to speak to us, and I've designed an op to force his hand. I don't want to bring the rest of the squad in until we know for sure, as none of this will be mentioned at the briefing at 0800. You'll be going in under the guise of a field test of that new missile the LNA and STX cooked up. Don't get me wrong, the test is very real and we do need that data. I also need you to do something more. I'm going to offer the captain the chance to ride along with you. He'll be under the impression that he's monitoring the Raiders' response to the new missile. Once you're in the field, I'll switch to a private channel and interrogate him. Your job is to get him to cooperate. More on this below. You'll have access to his flight suit's medical sensors, which will give you an insight into his current mental state. Use that to inform your decisions. Captain Varner is an experienced GTI spook, so you may need to get creative. Flying close to Raider hotspots and intentionally taking damage might be a good start. If that's not enough, you can try dropping your shields. The Haumea you'll be flying has a power shunt for that, or letting the Raiders damage your hull. In a pinch, you could even order your wingmates to depart. The captain's unfamiliarity with the Haumea should also help disorient him. Remember, we want him submissive. Punish him for withholding information, but don't be capricious about it. That'll just piss him off. All of this is contingent on Varner agreeing to ride along, but I'm confident I can convince him. He's staring down a treason charge, and it's anyone's guess if he can sell a court-martial on his classified orders excuse. That aside, I believe the strength the Raiders have shown here puts his refusal to share information in violation of General Order 1. His cooperation here will look good for him at trial, and he knows it. This is a live fire exercise, and we get nothing if you and the captain get vaped. Your gunship should hold out longer than most fighters, but try not to take risks beyond what's needed to secure his cooperation. Again, none of this will be mentioned to the squad. They will be expecting a normal op eval mission. I know I'm asking a lot of you, running two ops simultaneously, but I also know you're up to it. See you at 0800, Commander. This message from Acting Captain Jurisk contains important information for the next mission that will not be covered again. Are you sure you're ready to proceed to the briefing? Yes, I just read it.
Alright pilots, let's get started. The engineering teams here and at Amanu are still working over all the Galicia data. We don't have much to share yet, but it gave Amanu a leg up on a project they've been hacking on for a few weeks. Prototypes of the new Locust missile are entering op eval, and you've been selected to participate in a live fire test. According to LNA scouts, Raider gunships have been picking over a small debris field near Luyten II for about 72 hours. They've pulled out, but they left several wings of Kamas and Ainkus patrolling the area. These will be your targets. The Locust is a retrofit missile produced en masse, so we want data about how it performs under different launch conditions. To that end, we've allocated each of you a different fighter class. According to the engineers behind it, the Locust is an effective wing attack option at over 800 meters, while remaining an adequate weapon at shorter ranges. Try to factor that into your tactics. The SDS has upgraded one of their Haumea gunships with an onboard Selden receiver, the big sister of the Locust Seeker. In keeping with SDS ethos, the ship carried sophisticated sensor systems even before the upgrade. We'll use the data collected by these systems to develop tactical doctrine for the Locust. Your primary objective is to engage and clear all hostiles from the EZ. We want to assess what kind of response the Raiders have to this new weapon. To that end, Acting Captain Jers has persuaded Captain Varner to accompany this operation as an observer. Varner will fly RIO on board Alpha 1. Captain Jers asked me to stress that Varner is here to interpret sensor data, nothing more. He remains under arrest and has no command authority. Ignore any orders he tries to give. Captain Jers will personally be on the comm to oversee this operation. If the situation changes for the worse, we'll abort the test and return to base. All pilots are authorized to depart if they feel they are in immediate danger or if ordered by your squad leader. We will not be sending support to the EZ. This is an in and out test. Skids up in 30 minutes.
Alright. Primary objectives: fire 100 GTIM-4R Locust missiles. Secondary objectives: destroy 20 drones. That's a lot of fighters. It's a lot of fighters. I don't own this many fighters. What's going on? Alright, so just bring 100 Locusts. So our objective is...
Alright, pilot.
To fire all 100 of them. So, seems good. Let's hit it. Alright, Joes. Synapse neural interface subject Jan
Wayfarer, Alpha 1 Observer. We're in. Tally 6 Raider wings across a 4-kilometer volume.
Copy. What do you make of their formation?
Four wings are holding at fixed zones, with 2 on patrol. Their positioning appears designed to maximize sensor cover. I think this is a listening post.
Huh. Did you get that all from the Sultan data?
That and simple observation. I've done this before, acting captain.
Even so, it was a pretty specific observation.
Is this a combat mission or an interrogation?
Both, actually. I suggest not trying anything stupid. I'd hate for you to get stuck here.
I don't have anything more to say then. I know my rights. I'll deal with the court-martial when we get home.
You're assuming we survive this mess. Or maybe you aren't. Whatever shame you're hiding from, it'll only be doubled if you watch us all die here. Captain, it's clear you know more about these drones than you're letting on, so let's start there. What is your involvement with these things?
He's not going to talk until I scare him a little. So let's get in there and mix it. Man, these guys are.
Varner, please just help us.
Smoked.
Captain?
Pop-up contact. Raider configuration.
Alright, fine. Let's,
Take the ship back to Wayfarer immediately! I know my rights!
no sir, we're not doing that.
We're waiting, Captain.
Fine, I'll just go get in a furball with these guys.
Cut the bullshit! That's an order! Alright, just stop! The drones were part of an old GTI weapons program. The project was highly secretive and formed a base of almost every major project that came afterwards. I really can't tell you more than that.
Pop-up contact. Raider configuration.
Why's that? Who's in control of the project? Are they ordering you to continued secrecy? The GTI is disbanded, Captain. Whatever loyalties you had should be disregarded.
What the hell are you doing?
Max empty. Test data transmitted.
No, I don't know who's controlling it. Look, I left the project a long time ago.
So it was an old GTI weapons project. We need to know more. If you aren't part of the project, then who's leading it now?
Damn it! You're going to get us both killed! No one's leading it. Or no one should be. If someone is, I don't know that.
Hostile ships on sensors.
What was your specific role in the project?
Stop! Please, stop! I envisioned the idea with a colleague. We got the green light from the top brass, and I did most of the recording until I left. Others did most of the design work.
Leave your spike.
In need of assistance.
What was this weapon designed for, Captain?
Yeah, I can't concentrate on asking the question, on prompting the question.
In need of assistance.
Need to be more afraid, Captain?
I'm still your commanding officer. Knock it off! The enemy is in pursuit of Terran.
Bandit down. Scratch target. Taking fire. Can't extend.
Tell us what you know.
The shields stay down until you talk, Captain.
Sir! Captain Varner, you're free to start cooperating at any time.
Your vendetta against me is going to get us killed!
Hey, you're the one who tried to have me killed, sir.
Captain, answer the question, please.
Taking fire. Can't extend. Cover me.
Take the ship back to Wayfarer immediately! I know my rights!
Hostile ships on sensors.
You guys are getting too efficient. I'll go after this waypoint.
Come on, Captain. Just tell us.
He's angrier than he is afraid. And grieving.
Pop-up contact. Raider configuration.
Clock's ticking. Answer the question.
Why did I ever agree to this?
I don't know. Why did you?
Cut the bullshit!
Fine, everyone go
Won't
away.
you stop? The drones are meant to control nodes, okay? Just remember I left the project.
Oh shit.
You're nothing short of a miracle, sir. Hostile ships on sensors.
I'm sure you didn't intend for any of this to happen. But we have to face the reality. Help us. Please.
Glad Beta 2 doesn't...
Weapon energy low.
What specifically made you leave the project, Captain?
Fears of the Hunter is easy to answer any questions we have.
Fine. Once the Sheevan War began and the Alliance formed, the Vasutan intelligence was reluctantly brought onto the project. The focus changed from anti-Vasutan to anti-Sheevan.
Sir, call me in if you need cover.
But that's just what the records show.
On my way, sir.
I I knew as part of the time of a higher group GTA
Hostile
to make
ships on
sure that we
sensors.
suspect Antifa soon as the Sheevan War ended. I'm sorry, I interrupted to call for cover.
As the Sheevan War raged, I began to change my views on our past enemy. My colleagues didn't. I put up a front of personal reasons and left the project before they realized. I should have tried to end it there. I was a coward.
Sir, call me in if you need cover.
Tell me how Inadem makes decisions.
How did we learn the name?
What's
He didn't
its
say
main
it.
directive?
I will tell you, okay? The original design had a very simple operating
Weapon
directive.
energy low.
Everything changed after the Vega engagement.
Vega engagement. In 2333?
Yes. After Vega 3 was bombed, intelligence spies discovered a series of artifacts there. They quickly realized what they found was neither Vasudin nor Terran, and classified them at the top levels. Oh, God. My career is going to be over after this. I'm going to spend the rest of my life in a prison.
Yep. We just achieved an objective. Oh, 21 kills. Fired 46 Locusts. To fire 54 more.
Captain, keep it together. Tell me about the artifacts.
What the hell are you doing? Alright. We found some kind of old alien spacecraft in the rubble. We codenamed it Aphosis. It took us a while to make heads or tails of it. It had all kinds of strange tech on board. But the kicker for us was an advanced suite of subspace sensors. The kind we never even dreamt of. It took us years to work out how they worked. When we did, there was major infighting over what to do with them. The short version is we discovered that it could detect subspace movements well beyond our local system cluster, and that it could pinpoint drive spectra. In short, we could partially predict not the general location of subspace usage, but also who was probably using it. The whole project was part of GTI R&D, who had already confirmed the presence of the Sheevans. They packed up the important bits of Aphosis and sent it to Heraklion, where Inidem was being developed. I've already shared too much.
Hostile ships on sensors.
Heraklion? In Antares? What was sent there?
Okay. We incorporated what we called the Sheevan Detection Kit into the core of Inidem's AI, and we overhauled its directives. It went from a node blockade system to a complete Sheevan spoiler with 5 distinct phases.
Does Inadem answer to a person? Or is it working on its own?
I'll tell you, okay?
Sir,
It doesn't answer to a person. No one controls it. At least when I left the project. It was meant to work if humanity was entirely extinct. It was to be an act of revenge, really.
Tank 2, low.
Tell me about the phases. This information could help us survive out here, Captain.
hostile ships on sensors.
Alright. It begins with assessment. It would determine the strength of entities in the current system, recon and force. After that would begin buildup. The main EDDEM controller would engage hostiles while gathering resources to produce drones to reach the determined necessary strength for containment. During the containment phase, EDDEM would attempt to seal off the system using roughly half its drones, while interdicting inter-system comms relay with IVAR ships. When full full containment was reached, it would begin extermination. The remaining 50% of the drones would systematically seek and destroy all hostiles, replacing those lost with scrap metal attained during this period.
Oh boy.
When extermination was completed, Any-Dem would begin proliferation. It would move to an adjacent system and begin again. This whole process was codenamed Active Denial.
Gods. Would it ever stop?
I don't know. That part of the program was incomplete when I left.
A2, empty.
Why is it here in Luyten?
I don't know that either. When I left the project, the main construction was still in Heraklion. I have no idea what happened after I left. Maybe it was moved?
Aye, sir.
Fine. When you get back, you will hand over all the records you have on this Any-Dem project. Or we're going to come back out here. And maybe that time, I'll pair you with a less experienced pilot.
Whatever you want. Just get me out of here.
Command, we've got gunships arriving. I don't think they like that we've been picking off their drones so quickly with these new missiles. Sir, call me in if you need cover.
Copy. We've got all the data we need from this op.
Return to base before he gets too hot. Alright.
Ancestors, guide us safe through your sacred halls.
Departure authorized.
Alright, let's hit it. God, 1% hull. Goodbye.
I know it must have been strange to actively try to intimidate a superior officer, and there's no medal or award I'm authorized to grant you for the effort. I'm confident, however, that this new information will help us get everyone home safely. So I wanted to personally thank you. After our little interrogation, Varner decided he had nothing left to hide. I'll send you a report of all the key details of his work with the Any-Dem project, once he's done spilling everything he knows. That's the least I can do for helping me pull this off. Hopefully, this new insight will help us find a weakness we can exploit.
No recommendations. God, that was close.
I know it must have been strange to actively try to intimidate a
I thought they'd
superior
fix this.
officer, and there's no
33
medal
total
or
kills,
award
3
I'm
assists.
authorized to grant you for the effort.
18 camas,
I'm
15
confident,
and
however,
15
that this new
Ankus.
information will help us get everyone
So,
home safely.
bring all-time total.
So I wanted to personally
So, this
thank
was
you.
0 day. The,
After our little interrogation, Varner
11th
decided he
mission
had nothing
of
left to hide. I'll send you a
Between the
report of
Ashes,
all
the
the
Growing
key details of
Silence
his
here
work
on
with the
Paladin
Any-Dem
Gaming.
project.
This is Paladin
Once he's
Gaming
done spilling
signing off.
everything he knows.